Hello friends, in this clip we shall discuss about pleiotropy and polygenic inheritance. First we'll start with pleiotropy. If one gene controls more than one character or trait, then it is called pleiotropy. An example is the disease phenylketonuria that results from the mutation in the gene phenylalanine hydroxylase. Normally, the amino acid phenylalanine is converted into tyrosine. This reaction is catalyzed by the enzyme phenylalanine hydroxylase. If there is a defect in the gene that codes for phenylalanine hydroxylase, the enzyme is not produced. This enzyme is not produced. Now it leads to conversion of phenylalanine into phenylpyruvic acid, which is a toxic compound. Phenylpyruvic acid is toxic compound. So this toxic compound, phenylpyruvic acid, causes the disease phenylketonuria. If this enzyme is not produced, then tyrosine is not formed. Now, if tyrosine is not formed, it affects the next steps in this metabolic biochemical reaction pathway. Here you can see that absence of phenylalanine hydroxylase affects the enzyme homogenetic acid oxidase indirectly. It is because the absence of phenylalanine hydroxylase, in the absence of phenylalanine hydroxylase, this tyrosine is not produced. So the gene for phenylalanine hydroxylase is controlling the gene for homogenetic acid oxidase indirectly, not directly but indirectly. Thus, these genes control more than one character. Okay, so this gene, phenylalanine hydroxylase gene, it controls more than one genes. Say for example, these are different enzymes here involved in the biochemical pathway: tyrosine aminotransferase, 4-hydroxyphenylpyruvic acid deoxygenase, and homogenetic acid oxidase. Now all these three enzymes, they are coded by genes only. So all the four actually, they are coded by genes. So if there is a defect in this gene, then it affects indirectly all the other genes. So this phenylalanine hydroxylase gene is controlling indirectly the genes which are responsible for these three enzymes also. Thus, the gene controls more than one character. In this case, the entire metabolic pathway is affected if there is a defect in the gene that codes for phenylalanine hydroxylase. Okay. Next, polygenic inheritance. As the name suggests, polygenic means a character is controlled by more than one gene. Then we use the word polygenic inheritance. So here, more than one genes control one character or trait. Now, some examples are skin color and height in humans. Skin color and height in humans. And also grain color in case of wheat. Now let's take the example of inheritance of skin color in humans. In humans, the skin color is controlled by three genes: A, B, and C. It means that the skin color is the additive effect of the all the three genes. Additive effect of the all the three genes. That is, contribution of the all alleles, all the three genes is required. So when all the alleles are dominant, here you can see all the alleles for, here there are three pairs of alleles. Three genes are there. So each gene has a pair of alleles. So when all the alleles are dominant, here you can see, that is in homozygous dominant condition, the skin color will be darkest. The skin color will be darkest. In homozygous recessive condition, here you can see it is completely opposite. In homozygous recessive condition, where all the alleles are recessive, the skin color will be light. So if all the alleles are dominant, skin color will be dark. If all alleles are recessive, that is homozygous recessive, then all the color will be completely white, lighter color. If all the genes are in heterozygous condition, here you can see, if all the genes are in heterozygous condition, So you can see there is dominant allele, recessive allele, dominant allele, recessive allele, dominant allele, and recessive allele. Okay, if all the genes are in heterozygous condition, then intermediate, here you can see an intermediate in between. Okay, an intermediate phenotype, intermediate color is produced. So this fellow is intermediate between pure white and pure dark. Now here you can see 7 possible skin colors from darkest to lightest. Now let's solve some problems based on polygenic inheritance and pleiotropy. A pleiotropic gene, so we already discussed this. A pleiotropic gene is a gene involved in pleosin. No. It controls a trait only in combination with other gene. No. It controls multiple traits in an individual. Multiple means more than one character. So a gene, if it controls more than one characters in an individual, then we call it as pleiotropic gene. And it is not expressed in primitive, not only in primitive plants, it is there in almost all the organisms. Of course, not all organisms. Few organisms they exhibit pleiotropy, few genes. Now, skin color in humans is determined by 3 pairs of polygenes. Following the cross, okay, dark color. Okay, so this is completely dominant. Okay, this fellow is okay. He marries. Okay, this woman, or say for example, this woman marries this man. Okay, having homozygous recessive genotype, and this fellow has homozygous dominant phenotype. In F1 generation, what proportion of the progeny is likely to resemble either parent? Okay, so the question is, okay, if these two marry, okay, if these two persons having these genotypes marry, then children will be produced. Okay, out of those children, what proportion resembles both the parents? What resembles? Okay, what proportion progeny is likely to resemble? Means look like either parent. In F1 generation, here you can see. Okay, in F1 generation, all the children will have intermediate phenotypes. All the children will have intermediate phenotypes. Now, because all the genes are heterozygous, here you can see all the 3 pairs of genes are 3 pairs of alleles are heterozygous. So here answer is 0. Here you can see. Okay, so this is the intermediate phenotype, and these two are the parents. Okay. Now, does this fellow look like him or him? No. Okay, so he doesn't look like either of them. Hence, the answer is 0. Which of the following pair of features is a good example for polygenic inheritance? Human height and skin color. Yes, this is the correct answer. Human height and skin color. These characters are controlled by more than one genes. ABO blood group in humans and flower color of Mirabilis jalapa. Now you know that ABA blood group. Okay, it is controlled by multiple alleles. It is controlled by 3 different alleles: IA, IB, and I. So that you have studied. So here more than one allele is there. Sorry, more than one allele pair is there. Okay, in a gene, but it is a single gene. That is difference. But human height and skin color, they are controlled by more than one genes, and each gene has a pair of alleles here. But in ABA blood group, there is a single gene, but there are 3 different forms of alleles. Okay. And flower color of Mirabilis jalapa, it is controlled by a pair of alleles, and that is a single gene. Now, other examples: hair pigment of mouse and tongue rolling ability of humans, it is also controlled by single gene. Human eye color and sickle cell anemia, they are also controlled by single gene. So these are not the examples of polygenic inheritance. So human height and skin color, they are the best examples of polygenic inheritance.